Hello, today I will be convincing you as to why vaccines need to be mandatory. Vaccinating, as we all know, is one of the most argumentative topics there is. However, it's also one of the most important. The world has used science and medicine to try to erase some of the most deadly diseases, which have mostly been preventable. The world's first successful vaccine, created by Edward Jenner in 1796, was against smallpox. Smallpox is a very contagious and most of the time deadly disease. Its symptoms are brutal, from rashes and blisters to severe fevers, headaches, diarrhea, vomiting, chills, and overall unwellness. Before Jenner had created this vaccine, thousands and thousands of people had died in this horrifying way. Smallpox was even used in wars against enemies to try to kill and weaken their armies. The world was breaking out in many other diseases as well, such as measles and yellow fever. The death rates were astonishing. The next vaccine was created by Louis Pasteur to fight against rabies in humans. This infection causes severe confusion, aggression, muscle spasms, and even paralysis. The late 1800s was a very crucial and desperate time for the advancements in vaccines. Unfortunately, the devastation didn't stop there. The next epidemic broke out was polio. There were two types of polio. Non-paralytic polio starts out with flu-like symptoms and can lead to meningitis, which is an infection on the membrane surrounding the brain. The second type, paralytic polio, causes lack of muscle reflexes and can lead to permanent paralysis. Persons with this disease often also suffer from difficulty breathing. A machine called the iron lung, which is a huge device in which a person lays in up to their neck, breathes for them. Some only had to be in this machine for a few weeks, and others need it their whole lives. Trials for the first polio vaccine, which was created by Jonas Salk, were performed in 1954 and were announced in 1955. At this point in time, the world had lost a significant amount of its population to these disgusting diseases, masses of people at a time, and they did not and do not discriminate. Without the creation of these vaccines, we could still be fighting these nasty epidemics. In this day and age, every child must be vaccinated for several different diseases before attending public school. The list differs based on the state they reside in, but most commonly they are vaccinated for chickenpox, polio, PCV, which is pneumococcal, MMR, measles, mumps, and rubella, HPV, human papillomavirus, hepatitis B, HIB, type B, which is a type of influenza, and DTaP, DTP, or Tdap, which is diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. There has also been some concern with vaccinating children at such a young age. The CDC does state that there are chances of an allergic reaction to the ingredients in vaccines, which could be as harmless as a rash at the site of injection or as serious as death. Parents also fear of these vaccines causing mental and physical abnormalities to their children. However, these cases are rare, and most of the mandatory vaccines are necessary for the population to continue preventing these dreadful diseases. Unfortunately, some parents, more and more each day, are refusing to vaccinate their children. If only they could have saw the terror the people before us saw. Mass deaths, bodies everywhere, and since vaccinations, minimal cases have come about. History will repeat itself, though. With the rise of parents not vaccinating, more outbreaks, which we haven't heard of for years, will come about. New York is currently in the battle with cases of measles. New York City has just declared a public health emergency, and soon cases will pop up everywhere. It's unbelievably unfair to the people who choose to take precaution for themselves and their children, to have to be a part of the ignorant, naive ways of those who do not. The people in the beginning of history were not aware of the pain they were going to endure. They also did not have any way to stop or prevent the suffering for them and their family members. However, we do know the history of the gruesome conditions in which people endure. We also have the preventive medicine to stop these diseases from taking over again. As a nation, we must come together to save not just our futures and ourselves, but the futures of our children and their children. Thank you.